Hey, we're going to turn once again to our beloved letter here. All right. So last show we just briefly touched on how God gives us the freedom of choice to be diverse. Okay, it is our choice either to accept God or to turn from God, and how this country is based on Judeo-Christian values which allow for religious freedoms. Okay, so in the midst of the many points this person brings out, today we're going to talk about raping, assaulting, and killing people from other religions and the like. Okay, now some of these subjects can get quite lengthy, and we don't have all that time on the show, but I will point out some brief things. Most of what I believe that's alluding to would be Old Testament. Okay? So what we have to understand, first of all, about the Old Testament is times were different then. Okay? God was not different, but times were different. Okay? God had chosen the nation of Israel apart from all the rest of the world to be His people. Okay? And it was actually a theocracy, whereas God was actually serving as the king of the Israelites, okay? And they were to live in obedience to God and God alone. All right, so we're setting the stage with that. We have the nation of Israel who their whole lifestyle has been given to them by God in an attempt to separate them from the other nations of the world and the other people and other religions of the world at the time, okay? God has made a promise to Israel that they are going to have a promised land, okay, which will be a home for them, okay, for God's people. Okay, now remember, throughout this whole thing, it's important to remember that God is the creator, okay? He created this world and all of the universe and the people that are populating it, okay? So we got to keep that in the back of our minds through this whole issue. So we have the Israelites who are coming out of Egypt. Okay, and they are going to be given a promised land. Now, the promised land is filled with a whole lot of other peoples, all right? And most of these people are pagan in nature and have different rules and a different set of standards and different gods, okay? They're false gods, and they do not worship the God of Israel, okay? Now, God has given His people, He's going to give His own people the promised land, okay? So basically what I think that this person is getting at is God would order the Israelites to invade this land and take it for their own. Okay, now this actually is a valid question because it is God's command that they're to eliminate these people of other religions from the promised land completely. Okay, now that may sound a little harsh, okay? We're talking going in and slaughtering everybody. However, it's important to keep in mind that God sees future events, okay? He sees into the future. And it was His concern that the Israelites, if they went in there and didn't take care of business, so to speak, they would become merged with these people and take on their customs and actually corrupt His holy ways, okay? Now, his goal was to keep Israel separate, a holy nation that worshipped Him and followed His commandments. All right, now, going into these other lands, which He said, take care of all of them, because what's going to happen is their ways are going to come back to haunt you, and they will become your enemies, okay? So if you rid the land of all these people, you can live holy in My ways, okay? The Israelites did not do this stuff. They did not go in and clean house. They did not do these things. Okay, and what ended up happening was they did intermarry with these people, and it kind of led them astray from what God originally intended Israel to be. Okay? And it's interesting here that the person points out here, saying that if you're a Christian, you must be a believer in human sacrifice. Okay? The bottom line with that, we're going to tackle human sacrifice separately. But the funny thing about her statement is that human sacrifice and such things were part of the religious ways of these people. They worship Moloch, and part of those rituals were the sacrifice of children through fire. So it's interesting that she would point out things that God had condemned, like human sacrifice, and actually somehow put that onto God, when it was these other religions and interbreeding with these people who would actually bring Israel out of faith with God. And ultimately, even some of the kings of Israel would end up sacrificing their children to foreign gods. So God sees clearly into the future. Okay, we had the same thing when Saul was told to destroy the Amalekites. You know, it's we had the same thing, and he didn't do it. And later on, they came back to become an adversary and a war enemy of Israel. And see, God sees perfectly into the future. Okay, it's a difficult question saying go and kill everybody. I agree with that. It is definitely a fair question. But we have to understand that God is sovereign. It's all right to question God, but you got to watch how you question it. You can't question His sovereign powers. Okay, so He sees into the future, sees things clearly. So understand from the point of that, He tried to keep Israel separate and obedient to Him, and since His ways are always right, kind of interbreeding with these other religions was eventually Israel's downfall, and God saw that from the beginning. So, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about this human sacrifice issue next time, and I'll be back in 8 to 10 with hot habanero sauce from the Devon chili farm, and we'll see where we are with this mighty bird. All right. Hey, welcome back to the Taste Panel, and we are back in action with hot habanero sauce from the Mid-Devon Chili Farm. All right, so take one more look at that lovely specimen there. Yeah, how about that? All those seeds, and nice thick pulpy body. Mid-Devon Chili Farm, again turning to some artisanal farmhouse stuff, and I don't know, guys. I'm somehow finding that to be a real soft spot for me, because I'm enjoying these farmhouse sauces, and I hope to have more on in the future, and maybe even some more Mid-Devon Chili Farm sauces. Though for now, this is all we have, and I have to get a hold of John Rose again, and maybe we can work something out to have some of his sauces on future shows. So anyway. Really good one here with hot habanero sauce. Again, mouth kind of heat calmed down quite a bit, but I'm really left with some really nice chili flavors, some nice warmth, kind of glowing down my throat. I really love a sauce that's like really pepper focused. You guys know that, and hot habanero sauce is certainly one of those sauces that really concentrates on those habaneros. Oh, excuse me! Wow, getting some delayed gas buildup in the chest, and yeah, good and hot, and good and flavorful. So hey, what more could we ask for from a hot sauce? So hey, that's gonna wrap it up for hot habanero sauce for today. So read your Bibles, okay? The best place to start is to read the Bible. Now, had this person here read their Bible, we probably wouldn't even be having this conversation, okay? There would really be nothing to discuss, all right? So, but tomorrow we are going to definitely hit that's if I film the show tomorrow, but I'm planning on it, so hey. We're going to talk about that issue of human sacrifice in the Bible, and we're going to cover that, and that might take 2 shows to get through. So hey, I'll see you next show, and till then, God bless.